Hi everybody, Jen here. I'm excited to share with you ornaments painted on the inside. This is a technique that I've done since 1995, so I've picked up some tricks along the way that I'm anxious to share with all of you. This was a request from my dear friend Eileen. Hi Eileen! For place setting ornaments. They're like regular clear glass ornaments, except they have a flat bottom and a little clip on top so you can put people's names for place settings. If you would, please watch my video until the end, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel, and leave comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this project. So this is the ornament that Eileen found on eBay, and at the moment, as of October 2018, it is still for sale on eBay. It has a flat bottom, so you can sit it and put card table seating at the top of it, or business cards. There's a simpler name card. So Eileen requested 20 of these glass ornaments for her Christmas dinner party, but she wanted them in certain colors inside to match her Christmas dinner party theme. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to show you one of them. She wanted 20, but I'm doing one first to make sure it's what she was looking for. And then I'll send the photo to her and make sure it goes beyond what her expectations were. These are the clear glass ornaments that I'm going to be using. But as you can see, they're all glass, and they come 12 per package. I'm sure you could find these online somewhere. And most importantly, they have this removable cap. The first thing you'll need for supplies is a clear glass ornament with a removable top. You'll also need paint. My favorite brand for pouring inside glass ornaments is Delta Ceramicoat. The other paints are either too thick for pouring inside or too thin and runny and leave streaks. You'll want to get an egg carton. This one you can find at most supermarkets. And we're actually going to be using the flip side of this for our project. Now you don't have to get the large egg cartons. You can get the dozen size. But be sure, I don't have one on hand, but be sure it's a cardboard one and not a plastic one, because we want to be able to move the glass ornaments without having them slide. You'll want to grab at least one Q-tip per ornament that you're making. You will also need paper towels. If you're going to be making an ornament that you want to hang on a tree instead of the ones I'm going to be making, which have a flat bottom for sitting, you will want to either get a ornament hook, one of the metal hooks for the top, or what I like to do is put cords around the top, or a ribbon for hanging on the tree. I thought I'd show you some of my finished ornaments that are presently for sale on eBay as of October 2018. So this one I used a thick cord at the top. This one I used a pretty gauze light blue ribbon for the top. And this one I used a different kind of ribbon. This is optional, but I like to sign my ornaments with my initials and the date. It's my favorite fine tip metallic pen to use. It's Sakura Pen Touch. And it's a 0.7 millimeter extra fine point. So I'll do it usually to match the cap of the ornament, whether it's gold or silver. Also, you might want to have some Elmer's glue or hot glue gun available. I noticed some of the older glass ornaments, I'll be sure and remove these caps very carefully. Some of the older clear glass ornaments, I noticed the metal springy part won't hold the cap tight enough. So you'll notice when you're done making your ornament that it'll wobble a little bit back and forth. This one's very secure, so I'm not going to need any glue for these. But if you do have that situation, you want some glue handy, and I'll show you how to do that later. So before I start showing you how to pour paint inside a clear glass ornament, I let you know about my thought process when I'm choosing which sequence to pour the paint into the ornament, which actually is important because if you put the wrong colors together and start moving them around, you could get very muddy colors and not vibrant colors. So here we have, I just did this really quick color wheel. So you have yellow, blue, and red as primary colors. Now if you were to put these three colors, pour them in any sequence into an ornament, you should be okay, because the red will butt up against the yellow, creating some marvelous shades of orange, or the yellow might butt up against the blue, creating some greens, and blue with red purples. What happens if you do the primary colors coupled with secondary colors, you can get brown. So my most popular ornaments are done in Christmas colors. So you have the red and the green, and red plus green will give you brown. So what I usually do is I'll put a yellow color in between the two different pours, or my most favorite thing to do is just pour white paint or ivory or off-white paint in between the pours of two colors which might cause brown. So since I'm deciding to use my phone to make this video, I did a printout of the photo that Eileen sent me. These are the colors for her Christmas dinner. Be sure that if you're using acrylic paint pours, or liquid acrylic paints rather, that you shake the bottle before using, especially if the bottle's been sitting a while. So here we go. I'm going to pour in some yellow first. I put in about 3 drops of yellow, shaking the antique gold, putting about 3 drops. The next color is this pinkish fuchsia pearl. Now I noticed with the pearl colors and the gold colors, they tend to be a bit thinner than the other Delta ceramic coats, so I don't put very much in there. I pray that the solid ceramic coat colors will carry the amount of the minimal amount of pearl and gold colors. You know what? Just so this doesn't get too muddy, I'm going to put some white paint in there. This is definitely a thicker paint. Cross your fingers on how this will work. I don't usually do a mix of different paints, but we'll just see. Don't worry. I know how to fix things if they go wrong or not to my liking. I'll show you how to fix quote-unquote mistakes later. Isn't that cool? Doesn't that look nice? Sometimes I wish I could just freeze the paint and it makes those really cool designs. Anyway, let's move on. We've got the pink in there. The next I'm going to do is silver. Put like, I don't know, 2, maybe 1 drop of silver. And I'm going to use a solid gray to kind of help thicken with the thickness of the silver. Next up is the turquoise, and I'm going to put a little blue in with the turquoise, I think. Again, about, I don't know, 2 or 3 drops per color. I went looking, I couldn't find where I put the turquoise, otherwise known as mermaid blue, bottle. So I've been off camera for about 3 minutes trying to find it. Just to let you know, this is a very forgiving process for time lapse. You don't have to put the colors in quickly. You don't have to worry about putting them in slowly. And here we go. I'm just going to turn the ornament slowly. So I'm turning the ornament slowly, but for you in the future, we'll be seeing this fairly quick. So I've come to a stopping point for the day. I've been turning this ornament a little bit over the whole day, taking breaks in between. And there's just one little naggy spot that didn't get covered with paint. So I'm going to take a Q-tip and go inside and bend the Q-tip a little bit go inside there and just kind of dab into the center using what's the paint around where the hole was, where the unpainted part was. Now this area here I'm not going to worry about too much. I'm going to see what happens after it's turned upside down for the night. So there we go, we just leave it overnight and I'll show you what I do in the morning. It's the next morning. We're going to see how the ornament did overnight. It looks pretty good. What I'm going to do now is flip it over. And this little ornament probably will take about 3 days to dry completely on the inside. The larger ornaments take a week, extra large about 10 days. Okay, so I just searched all of my studio looking for my little flashlight so I could show you inside the ornament. Couldn't find it, so I'm going to use my husband's phone and use the flashlight app on it. Let's see if that works. See how there's a little bit of reflection from the wet paint? So over the next couple days I'm going to keep checking inside this ornament until it's a matte finish in there. In other words, that all the paint has dried completely. It's been more than 3 days, so I'm going to check the inside of the ornament to see just how dry it is. I'm looking inside and it is bone dry, which is just what we want. The bottom of the ornament is where most of the paint will collect, so that's really where you want to look for dryness. I'm noticing that there's clear area here and here. The cap that's going on this ornament is going to cover up much of that clear area except for right here. I'm going to grab my Q-tip and use one of the colors from inside the ornament. Make sure you bend the Q-tip so that it reaches inside the ornament. Just going to squirt a little bit out. And go inside, lining up where I want to add paint. Now this new paint, I don't wait for it to dry. All of the ornament is painted inside. Pretty cool. Now that the ornament is completely painted on the inside, we're going to finish it. Now, if you have an old clear glass ornament that you painted inside and the top is a little wobbly, once you put it in, you might want to add some glue. Now what I usually do is just squeeze out some glue around the rim before I put the cap on, and that seems to hold it in place fairly well. This one does not need it. We're going to slowly clip the cap back on, just like that. And I like to go around the outside with a paper towel and some Windex to pick up any of the dried paint on the outside of the ornament. Oh, it's so shiny. If your ornament's going to be hanging on a tree, you might want to put a pretty ribbon or cord on it. So what you do is just thread it through the hook on top, and then I pull the two ends together and do a single knot. And there is the completed ornament. Oh, you might want to sign the bottom. I'm going to use a silver pen since the cap is silver. Take a shake. I'm going to test it out right here on the cardboard. Yep, looks good. And then I'll put and 8. Here's another tip. Now, I sign my name without my glasses on, so it's a little sloppy. So I'm going to use another Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol and try it again. You don't need very much rubbing alcohol. I'm just going to put a little bit in the cap. Oops. That's okay. Bye-bye. And I'll use the other side of the Q-tip to dry it. Let that sit for a minute. Alright, I put my glasses on this time. And we're just dinner party seating